You are leaking power. Every post, every story, every status update announcing your plans to people who don't care, every explanation to those who already judged you, every performance for an audience that will forget you in 5 minutes. Each one is a drop of your soul being wasted, a piece of your mystery dying, a fragment of your power dissolving into the noise. You think visibility equals relevance. That being seen means being valued. You're wrong. The most dangerous people in history moved in silence. They disappeared. They withdrew. They built empires in the shadows while the masses performed in the light. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. They didn't announce their intentions. They didn't broadcast their struggles. They didn't beg for attention. They vanished into themselves and emerged as forces of nature. Today, you learn the art of the ghost, the power of disappearing. But before we close the gates, subscribe to The Forge and like this video. This is not a request. This is the signal that you value wisdom over noise, that you choose depth over distraction, that you are among the few who seek to be indomitable. Let the algorithm know there are still those who refuse to be slaves to visibility. Now, let's begin. The lie of visibility. They sold you a lie. They told you that if you're not seen, you don't exist. That if you're not posting, you're irrelevant. That if you're not performing, you're falling behind. So, you perform. Daily, hourly, constantly. You announce every move, share every thought, document every moment. And you wonder why you feel empty, anxious, hollow. Here's the truth they don't tell you. Every time you seek visibility, you surrender sovereignty. You give the crowd power to judge you, to validate you, to define you. You become their puppet, and they pull the strings through likes, comments, and shares. Seneca wrote from exile, "I am never less alone than when alone." He wasn't lonely. He was free. Free from their opinions, their expectations, their constant demand that he explain himself. He disappeared, and in that disappearance, he found power. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by millions, wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." The most powerful man in Rome retreated inward. Daily, he ghosted the world mentally while ruling it physically. That's mastery. But you can't go 5 hours without checking who noticed you, who validated you, who cares. That's not living. That's begging. And today, it stops. Step 1. Digital fasting, the first step of disappearing. Cut the digital umbilical cord, not forever, but long enough to remember who you are without their attention. Here's your practice. 7-day digital fast. No social media, no posting, no scrolling, no checking who's watching. Delete the apps from your phone, not just log out. Delete. Make it hard to come back impulsively. At first, you'll panic. Your brain will scream for the dopamine hit, the validation, the proof that you exist. Ignore it. That panic is your addiction dying. Let it die. Epictetus said, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear foolish and ignorant." Translation: stop caring if they think you disappeared because you're irrelevant. Let them think whatever they want. In the silence, something happens. You hear yourself again. Your actual thoughts. Not the performance version. The real version. You remember what you actually want. What you actually value. What you're actually capable of without their applause. Seneca practiced this deliberately. He would take extended periods of solitude. No servants, no luxuries, no audience. He wrote, Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you can improve. The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. But first, you must learn alone, in silence, away from the noise. This is step 1. Disappear digitally, 7 days minimum. Let them wonder where you went. You're rebuilding. Step 2. Internal sovereignty. The second step. Become your own judge. Right now, you're outsourcing your self-worth. They decide if you're good enough, if you're doing well, if you matter. That's enslavement. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. You love yourself, but you trust their judgment of you more than your own." Stop. Here's the practice. Every morning, before you do anything, you ask yourself one question. Am I proud of who I was yesterday? Not. Were they proud of me? Not. Did they notice? Not. Did I impress them? Just, am I proud? If yes, that's enough. If no, you know what needs to change, and it has nothing to do with them. You create internal standards, values that are yours, principles that guide you whether anyone is watching or not. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not dependence on their approval, on the present moment and your own integrity. When you become your own authority, you become ungovernable. They can't control you with praise, can't manipulate you with criticism, can't shake you with rejection, because you've already judged yourself, and their opinion is irrelevant." This is step 2, internal sovereignty. Stop seeking their validation. Judge yourself by your own standards. Become complete within. Step 3, rebuilding the forge. The third step, work obsessively in silence. Disappearing isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing everything that matters without announcing it. The world is full of people who talk about what they're going to do. Plans, dreams, intentions, all noise. The Stoics were builders. They created, they worked, they forged themselves and their legacies, but they did it quietly. Marcus Aurelius wrote meditations as private notes to himself, never intended for publication. He was building his philosophy in complete silence. Seneca wrote his greatest works in exile, forgotten by Rome, building wisdom while the world moved on without him. Here's your practice. While you're disappeared, you're not resting, you're building. Choose one thing, one skill, one project, one transformation, and work on it obsessively. Every day, in complete silence. No progress posts, no updates, no day 1 of my journey announcements, just work. When you feel the urge to share, to announce, to get validation, channel that energy into the work instead. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Notice the order. Decide privately, then execute silently. The work becomes your validation. The progress becomes your proof. The transformation becomes undeniable. And when you finally emerge, you don't need to announce it. They'll see, they'll know, they'll feel the difference. This is step 3. Rebuild in silence. Work obsessively on what matters. No announcements, no updates, just relentless progress in the dark. The return eventually. You return, not because you need to, but because you choose to. And when you do, you're unrecognizable. The person who left was weak, seeking, desperate for validation. The person who returns is complete, self-contained, unshakable. Marcus Aurelius would retreat into himself daily, then return to rule. The retreat made the rule possible. Seneca emerged from exile with wisdom that outlived the empire that banished him. You don't announce your return, you simply show up different, stronger, clearer, more focused, more powerful, and they notice. Not because you told them to, but because power is undeniable. The difference between you and everyone else. They never left. They stayed in the noise, stayed visible, stayed weak. You disappeared. You built. You transformed. And now you're operating on a different level. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The disappearance was the friction. The silence was the trial. And you emerged, polished, perfect, ready. The final truth. Silence is the forge. Everything worth building is built in the dark, in the quiet, away from their eyes. The warrior trains alone. The artist creates alone. The philosopher thinks alone. Then they emerge, and the world has no choice but to acknowledge what they've become. You've been taught that visibility equals value, that being seen means being successful. It's a lie designed to keep you performing, weak, controllable. The truth? The most powerful move you can make is to disappear. Cut the noise, stop performing, retreat into yourself, build in silence, judge yourself by your own standards, work obsessively on what matters, then return, transformed, unbreakable, undeniable. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop announcing, start being. Disappear, build, then conquer." If you are among the few who reached this point, you have already begun your disappearance. Subscribe to Stoic Forge to continue the path. Leave a comment with the word ghost to show you are moving in silence. The masses perform. The few build in darkness. Choose your side. Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. Marcus Aurelius. Then, silence.